everyone, I am Justin J. Julio Baro from BSN Math 1. So for today's video, we're gonna discuss or we're gonna tackle about all the methods of contraception and the advantage and disadvantage of it. So we will go first to artificial methods. So if we say artificial method or artificial contraception, also known as birth control, are a medication used to prevent pregnancy. First on the list of artificial contraception is oral contraception. So if we say oral contraception, also known as the pill, oral contraceptives contains a synthetic estrogen and progesterone. Estrogen suppresses or follicle stimulating hormones of FSH and LH to prevent ovulation. Progesterone clearances the permeability of a cervical mucus to limit the sperm's access to the ovary. So it is suggested that the woman takes the first pill on the first Sunday after the beginning of the menstrual flow or as soon as it's prescribed by the doctor. So next on the list is the transdermal patch. If you say transdermal patch, it contains both estrogen and progesterone. The woman should apply one patch every week for 3 weeks on the following areas: upper outer arm, upper torso, abdomen, or buttocks. At the 40th week, no patch is applied because the menstrual flow would occur. The area where the patch is applied should be clean, dry, and free to irritation. Next on the list is vaginal ring. It releases a combination of estrogen and progesterone and it surrounds the cervix. This silicone ring is inserted into the female reproductive organ and remains this for 3 weeks and they're removed on the 40th week as menstrual flow would occur. The woman becomes fertile as soon as the ring is removed. So the next on the list is subdermal implants. It is a 2-rod-like implants inserted under the skin of the female during her menses or on the 7th day of her menstruation to make sure that she will not get pregnant. The implants are made of etonogestrel and desogestrel and progestin, and it can be helpful for 3 to 5 years. Next on the list is hormonal injections. So if we say hormonal injections, it contains metroxyprogesterone and progesterone and is usually given once every 12 weeks intramuscularly. In the injection causes changes in the endometrium and cervical mucus and can help prevent ovulation. Next on the list is the intrauterine device. It is a small T-shaped object containing progesterone that is inserted into a uterus via the female reproductive organ. It presents fertilization by creating a local steroid inflammatory condition to prevent implantation of the zygote. The IUD or intrauterine device fitted only by the physician and inserted after the woman's menstrual flow. The device can be effective for 5 to 7 years. Next on the list is chemical barriers. Chemical barriers such as spermicides, vaginal gels, and cream and glycerin films are used to cause the death of sperms before they can enter the cervix and to the lower pH level of the female reproductive organ. So it will not become conductive for the sperm. On the other hand, the chemical barriers cannot prevent sexual transmitted infection or STI. Next on the list is the diaphragm. It is a cellular rubber disc that fits the cervix and should be placed before coitus. Diaphragm works by inhibiting the entrance of the sperm into the female reproductive organ and it works better with a sperm side. The diaphragm should be fitted only by the physician and should remain in place for 6 hours after coitus. Next on the list is cervical cup. Cervical cup is made of a soft rubber and fitted on the rim of the cervix. It is shaped like a thimble with a thin rim and can stay in a place for not more than 48 hours. Next on the list is the male condom. So it is a latex or synthetic rubber shred that is placed on the erect male reproductive organ before penetration into the female reproductive organ to trap the sperm during the ejaculation. It can prevent STIs or sexually transmitted infections and can be bought over the counter. Male condoms have a ideal fail rate of 2% and typically fail rate of 15% due to the break in the shed's integrity or spilling of semen. So the next on the list is the female condom. If it's a female condom, it is made up of latex rubber sheds or are pre-lubricated with specimicide. They are usually bound by two rings. Out ring is the first inserted against the opening of the female reproductive organ, and the inner ring covers the cervix. It is used to prevent fertilization of the egg by the sperm cell. And the last but not the least of our artificial contraception is surgical method. It is where in man vasectomy is a small incision is made on each side of the scrotum. In women, tubal ligation is performed after menstruation and before ovulation. So the next method is the natural method. So if we say natural method, it is a natural family planning methods that do not involve any chemical or foreign body introduction into the human body. People who are very conscious of their religious beliefs are more inclined to use natural way of birth control, and others follow such natural methods because they are more cost effective. The first on the list of natural method is abstinence. This is a natural method, involves refraining from sexual intercourse, and is most effective natural birth control method with ideally 0% fail rate, and it is considered to be the next effective way to avoid sexual transmitted infection or STI. Most people find it difficult to comply with abstinence, so only a few use this method. Next on the list is calendar method. This method is called by the rhythm method. It is entails withholding from coitus during the day that the woman is fertile. According to the menstrual cycle, the woman is literally conceived 3 to 4 days before and for 3 or 4 days after ovulation. The woman needs to record her menstrual cycle for 6 months in order to calculate the woman's safe day to prevent conception. Next on the list is the basal body temperature or BBT. Indicates the woman temperature at rest before the day of ovulation and during ovulation. The woman must record her temperature every morning before any activity. A slight decrease in the BBT followed by a gradual increases in the BBT can be sign of the woman has been ovulated. So next on the list is cervical mucus method. So the change in the cervical mucus during ovulation is a basis for this method. During ovulation, the cervical mucus is copious, thin, and watery. The woman is said to be fertile as long as cervical mucus is copious and watery. Therefore, she must avoid coitus during those days to prevent conception. So next is the symptothermal method. So if we say symptothermal method, it's basically combination of the BBT method and the cervical mucus method. The woman records her temperature every morning and also take note of changes in her cervical mucus. She should abstain from coitus 3 days after a rise in her temperature or on the 40th day after the peak of a mucus change. Is ovulation detection. Uses an over-the-counter kit that requires a urine sample of the woman. The kit can predict ovulation through the surge of a luteinizing hormone or LH that happens 12 to 24 hours before ovulation. And the last but not the least of natural method is coitus interruptus. It is one of the oldest method that presents conception. A couple still goes on the coitus, but the man withdraws the moment he ejaculated the emit of a spermatozoa outside of the female reproductive organ. A disadvantage of this method is the pre-ejaculation fluid that contains a few spermatozoa that may cause fertilization.